say bizarre he went. They love him in dark events. Topping the chart, he said naughty shit to everybody's tent.
Welcome to the Intellectual Freedom Movement. I'm your host,
Harvey Dent.
and tonight I want to issue a warning for anyone that's been born in a hospital, anyone that has children born in a hospital, anyone that's planning to have children that will be born in the hospital, or anyone you know that may be about to bear a child that is planning to have their child in a local hospital. Now, the warning is not for birth defects or, anything, any contagious disease or anything, physical that would happen to your baby or to you or to your babies when you were born. This goes for everyone. This warning is for the birth registrar. That's right. You need to look out for the birth registrar because this is the person that is looking to kidnap your child on paper. That's right. They actually help you turn your child over to the state on paper, legally. Yeah, you may get to leave with your child, but legally, your child belongs to the state. Thanks to this birth registrar and their pushy asses, you want to fill out the application? I mean, who would have thought something so common, something so everyday, something so this is what everybody does, was the key to an entire life of debt slavery. I mean, this thing happens in a blink of an eye, and before you know it, your baby is registered with the state, with the birth certificate, because you have to register the birth. Well, register, if you didn't know, register means to sign over ownership. That's correct. So registering your baby's birth, you're literally signing over your baby. Do you wonder why they insist that the mother's maiden name is on the birth certificate? They may lie to you and say that it's genealogy, but if the mother's maiden name is on the birth certificate and the father's name is there as well, then when that mother signs as mother or other informant, she is signing that the father is not present. Therefore, the child is declared a bastard and signed over to the state due to the residence addressed that the mother is living at. So if all that trickery and wordplay and shell game wasn't enough for you, right after you finish that application, here they come with Social Security application. You got to fill out a Social Security card. You have to now because the state owns your baby, and they want to make sure that your baby has its tax ID and its little account set up for it at the Federal Reserve, which will be its account that follows it throughout its life that it will pull credit from. So anytime you go and apply for a loan through a bank, believe it or not, you are applying for a loan from yourself. As if that still was not enough, the banks basically determine whether or not you will be issued credit from your own account based on your previous credit history. And if you are granted credit and you're so thankful for the loan, thank you, they charge you interest to access your account to withdraw the money under your fictitious business name that the Federal Reserve holds to fund your loan, which is immediately redeemed. I mean, you're borrowing money from yourself to pay back to a bank that never loaned you the money in the first place. And because each and every bank operates through the Federal Reserve and their ACH processing for checks written or electronic payments online go through the Federal Reserve, anytime you make a payment through PayPal, through your checking account, bank account, or whatever, anytime you make a transaction, that money, that transaction must pass through the Federal Reserve Bank, where your trust account is dinged for the exact amount that you are trying to transact for. So you're paying once on the front end with your funny money, and they go ahead and rip it on the backside without you knowing when they process your transaction. I can almost guarantee you that any vendor, any credit offerer, any bank, any lender that requests your social security number in order to process your application is going straight for your account held by the Federal Reserve Bank. They have no money to loan you. You have all the value and the money that is what they loan you and charge you interest for to act as the middleman, because that is the American way. Well, it's the central banking way. And, add in fractional reserving and crooked ass bankers that, do all kinds of fraudulent shit, like, sell notes multiple times and bundle them and, play the markets with those while you're still out here struggling to pay for vehicles and homes that you've already paid for, and they'll still take from you if you miss a payment. When will you people stand up and say it's enough? Will you realize that you've been cheated out of a life that you were supposed to live without worrying about frickin' bills and funny money in order to get things that we should be already getting? No one can prove anything I've said wrong. They can't disprove it. All they'll do is send little shithead trolls around to, talk about how I'm begging for money, but I am not begging you for anything. I'm begging you to wake up and wake up others. It's time to let these fucking crooked-ass bankers know that we are not the passive pansies, the dumb asses that they have sorely mistaken us to be. I, or we, can only lift the veil so high. It's up to you to snatch the veil off that ugly-ass head and see all the ugliness that is living under there. I mean, we are just at the start of the journey. Look for future episodes to be uploaded about, the government and Federal Reserve fuckery and how we are just clueless victims of it. Well, if you like what I'm doing here, won't you go ahead and click that like button? You know you want to like it. Subscribe, share, comment, dislike. Do something so your brothers and sisters know that you're alive out there. Like spreading the word that the birth certificate should not be signed. It should not even be fucking completed. Why? Until you find your truth, keep looking.